Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll be presenting you my first independent dental implant surgery case which I operated during my post graduation as a student. Special thanks to my professor for donating this implant free of cost. The patient was very young and the cost of the implant was not affordable for the patient as he was not from a very well-to-do family. Since this is my first case, so kindly be very considerate if there are any kind of silly imperfections, and also stay tuned till the last part of this video as I'll be discussing the pros and cons of this case. What are some of the silly mistakes that you can avoid in your first case, some imperfections which could have been more perfect. I hope you'll get to learn something from this video.
हाँ। ये प्लानिंग कर रही हूँ ना, देखो कैसे प्लान करते हैं। देखो इसमें क्या करना है, ये लॉन्ग एक्सेस ऑफ द टूथ से इंक्लाइन ऐसा अभी प्रीमोलर में दांत डालना है, इसको ऐसे लेना है, ठीक है। और ये 1.5 mm गैप होना है एक टूथ से, ठीक है। अब ये मेजरमेंट दिख रहा है, ये मेजरमेंट, ठीक है। अब मेजरमेंट करेंगे हम लोग।
As you can see the blue line, which is the line along the long axis of the tooth of the upper premolar in relation to the dental implant that is to be placed. So we are taking it along the long axis of the upper premolar so that the axis is same while occluding for the prosthesis to be placed later on, so that occlusion is necessary. Therefore we take this long axis. Also know that the distance between the implant and the adjacent tooth is 1.5 mm. At least you have to keep a gap of 1.5 mm. You can also measure the distance between the blue line and the adjacent teeth by keeping a gap of 1.5 mm, but I have not recorded in this video. Now activating the measurement mode, we will be taking the measurement for the length and the diameter of the implant to be placed. So you can see I am pointing towards the sagittal portion of the cbct. So in this section we will be taking the length and the diameter of the implant. If you are an undergraduate and you do not know how to read cbct, I'll give the link in the description below of a video that I have made of how to read a cbct. Please do watch it for better understanding. So if you're confused about what this orange dot is, this orange line that was presented before is, this is the neurovascular structures. So whenever you are taking the implant length, your neurovascular structure should always have a distance of 2 mm between the neurovascular structures and the implant. So I have taken this implant as 14 mm. So for the diameter of the implant, you should always have a buccal plate thickness of 1 mm and lingual plate thickness of minimum 1 mm around the implant. That is the minimum mm required. You can also keep more than 1 mm, so it is better if you can keep more than 1 mm. So here I have taken into consideration 1.5 mm into the buccal plate and 1.5 mm into the lingual plate. So total it is 3 mm, and approximately the distance is around 8 mm approximately. So 8 mm minus 3 mm, we can place an implant of a diameter of 5 mm in this region. 4 to 5 mm we can place. I had planned for a 14 mm implant length, but since we are using Nobel BioCare implant kit, the nearest drill length available to 14 mm is 13 mm implant drill. So I have ultimately taken a 13 mm implant length. So you can also see the length of the drills available, that is from 8 mm till 16 mm. So it also depends on the type of the implant kit that you are going to use. And that I'm going to use is an ifix implant, which is an Indian brand, and they have exact simulation of the Nobel BioCare implant kit. After taking the clinical pics, finally let's go to the surgical technique. I prefer a flapless technique, but since this was a previously operated case of cystic lesion, we had to flap it so that we can curettage the socket properly if required. Also, it is advisable that if it is your first time, it's better to raise the flap so that there will be maximum visibility. Now before we start with the osteotomy drill, let's do the physio setting. I have set the speed as 1000 rpm and the torque as 35 Nm. Torque is nothing but the resistance against the bone during drilling. So this is the precision drill that we are going to use. This is an optional drill. So this is for making a ditch and it is for pinpoint accuracy. This is like making a ditch, like marking a place for the pilot drill to be placed, which is the next drill. So if you are placing an implant for the first time, this is very much helpful. Place this as parallel as possible to the adjacent teeth and maintaining a gap of 1.5 mm so that the PDL fibers are not damaged. I hope you can see the ditch that I have made in the video. Now we have the twist drill, which is basically the pilot drill. So this is 2 mm in diameter. Everything is written in the implant kit, you don't have to worry. So this is also known as the universal drill because in every implant surgery we will definitely be using the pilot drill. This drill is very important because it acts as a guide for subsequent drills. Whatever drills will be placed, that will just follow the pathway of this drill. So now we will insert this drill in the ditch that we have made with the marking drill. Drill it till a maximum depth of 9 mm.
वीडियो ले रहा है ना रुचिका?
80% of the implant placement depends on the pilot drill, as they make a bed for the implant to be placed, and it also appraises the density of the bone for the entire length of the implant to be placed. Now after the pilot drilling, we need to take a direction indicator, which is also known as the parallel pin. Since I did not have a parallel pin, I have used the twist drill itself in order to compare whether it is parallel to the adjacent tooth. Now with the parallel pin in place, the ideal way is to take a radiograph and to see whether the angulation is correct, whether the depth is correct, or whether any kind of susceptibility is there to any kind of anatomical structures. So in this way we can make modifications if something is going incorrect, so which is very helpful. So now that we are done with our pilot drill, let's come to our final shaping drills. So since our implant was of 13 mm length and of 4 mm diameter, so you can see in the implant kit various lengths are written like 11.5 mm, 13 mm. So we are going to choose the 13 mm length, like so you can see the color coding pink, yellow and navy blue. So for the 13 mm coding, I have also marked it with a circle so that it will be easy for you to understand. So we have the diameter of 3.5, 4.3 and 5 mm. So the pink color coding is 3.5 mm diameter, and yellow color coding is 4.3 mm diameter, and the navy blue color coding is 5 mm diameter. So since our implant is 4 mm diameter, so obviously we have to take a diameter which is less than 4 mm. So 3.5 mm will be the most suitable, and this will be your final shaping drills. See, suppose if your implant was of 5 mm diameter, then we would have taken the last final shaping drill as 4.3 mm. After drilling with pilot drill, we would have gone for 3.5 mm. Then again, we would have gone for 4.3 mm. Suppose if our implant was of 5 mm diameter. But here, since the implant is of 4 mm diameter, the last final shaping drill is 3.5 mm. So now I am taking the 3.5 mm drill, and let's start our osteotomy for the final shaping drill. So this final shaping drill will just sequentially follow the pathway of the implant bed made by the pilot drill. So these are just used for widening the osteotomy to the matching diameter of the implant being placed. So now I am done with the drilling sequence. Now I will be placing the implant finally. So this is the implant driver. We'll insert the implant driver into the handpiece, and then we will take out the implant. Now before placing the implant, this is very important, you need to change the physio settings. So I have taken the RPM as 20 RPM and the torque as 50 NCM. So now while inserting the implant, you just have to follow the pathway that was made by the drill. So you can insert the implant by a handpiece, or you can insert it with a hand ratchet. The advantage of inserting the implant with a handpiece is that the placement will be more ideal and deviation is less likely. So you can see I am inserting the implant with a handpiece.
अभी देखो वो स्मूथली जा रहा है बहुत, क्योंकि वो तेल है। जूम आउट करके ले लो ना ऐसे भी।
So now as I'm inserting the implant, I can feel the torque. So you can see that I'm asking my assistant to increase the torque. We are increasing the torque till 60 NCM.
घूम रहा है ना, इंक्रीज करो, 60 कर दो, 60।
Even after increasing the torque, I encounter significant amount of resistance while trying to insert the implant. So sometimes what happens is that in very dense bone like mandible, there is difficulty in insertion. So the implant was not being embedded fully below the crestal level, or at least at the crestal level. So you can see in the video, the implant is way too above the crestal level. In dense bone like mandible, difficulty in insertion somehow do occurs with handpiece. So I'll be using a hand ratchet to control a better grasp of tactile sensation and to try to insert the implant at the crest level. So this is the ratchet that I'm using. When placing an implant with the hand ratchet, keep in mind to keep a very good apical pressure so that there will be decrease in the possibility of deviating the part of the implant. Also keep in mind not to apply too much pressure, as this will cause necrosis.
इतना काफ़ी है ना वो।
That's the reason I didn't forcefully use the handpiece even after the implant was not fully embedded, and I've used this ratchet so that I can have a better control of the grasp. So this is the crestal level edge shape ultimately. You can see it in the picture. And now we will be placing the cover screw with a hex.
ये ले रहे ना मुझे को? हाँ।
So this is the post-op OPG taken for the patient after placement of the cover screw, and I have also taken the RVG for this patient. Implants were placed for both second premolar and first molar, but I have taken the video for premolar because the more posterior it is, the more difficult it is to shoot the video. Intraoral videography is very difficult. The video may look very smooth, but it takes so much effort in shooting the video and in editing the video. So please guys, do like, share, subscribe and comment. Don't forget to like the video. It will be very helpful to me. And you may leave your queries in the comment section. Thank you.